Today's sync sound is a cheers. In 3, 2, 1.
It's kind of sad that these are empty soda bottles.
It sounded so empty.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to That Just Might Work, the podcast about everyday items. Jesse, it's been a while.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. We had a brief hiatus.
An unannounced one. We didn't clear it with our listeners.
No, I prefer it to be a surprise.
Or say anything on social media. We just left everyone in the dark for like 3 weeks.
Right.
The show's not over.
Nope.
Not yet, anyway.
No.
It might be soon.
I was just taking a sabbatical.
Oh, was that what you were doing?
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Went to Germany. I think I'm mostly over my jet lag now.
Okay,
but
good.
That was hard.
We're in another hotel.
Yeah,
for another episode. I'm not going to ask you about Germany. Everyone knows that Germany was a good time. So, what are you going to tell me? You had good beer and
good beer. I got a deer tattoo on my leg.
Yes, yeah, you did.
I'm only realizing now that our parents listen to this.
Yeah, so you have a short time window to tell them that you got a tattoo now.
You know what? This is probably a better way than anything else I could have come up with. So
I wasn't going to bring it up, but you just went ahead. I mean, we could edit it out.
Nope.
We should just edit out where you said it's a deer. So it's like, it's a what tattoo?
Just bleep it out. Yeah. I got a bleep tattoo on my leg.
There's a little bit of mystery to it,
yeah.
At least. We're in another hotel in Syracuse. It seems like we record more episodes in hotels than not.
This should just be a hotel review show.
I think so. Should we say where we are? I like this hotel.
I think we can.
This is my second time here.
Yes.
This is the Aloft.
The Inner Harbor Aloft.
Yeah. And nice place. Nice little lounge. They've got a bar.
It is nice. This is my first time being here. And yeah, they've got kind of a swanky bar downstairs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're up in the room, set up with the microphones on the ironing board.
This is a first.
If I were going to knock the hotel down a couple of pegs,
the hotel.
If I were going to do a hoedown,
like if you're going to do one right now,
no. If I were going to knock it down a couple of pegs, it would be for lack of furniture in the rooms.
Right.
I got to give a shout out to the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Syracuse because that was our first hotel episode. We didn't realize it at the time, but they had a lot of great furniture in that room.
Yeah, I don't think they know to cater to the remote podcast setup.
They should. Jesse told the bartender at this bar we're here doing a podcast.
I wish I had gotten her name. I would have given her a more personal shout out. But shout out to the bartender at the Aloft Hotel.
Yeah, so she subscribed, didn't, or she looked us up right in front of you. So
yes, yeah.
Good chance that she's listening. I would only request better furniture in the rooms next time.
I'm sure she's in charge of that sort of thing. So yeah, why not?
Good beer on tap, anyway.
Yeah.
What do we have?
The Ellicottville brewing company Blood Orange.
Blood Orange something or other.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Tart.
It was good. Other announcements before we get to the show. Want to remind you, we do have that Amazon affiliate link. And I want to thank everyone that purchased something. We did hit our quota of 3 purchases within the first 180 days of having an affiliate account.
Really keeping us afloat.
Yeah. I think our total earnings are nearing $2.50.
Oh, man. What are you going to spend it all on?
I'm going to wait till we have at least 10 to buy something.
Okay.
We'll buy something for the show, maybe.
Yeah.
But that money, hopefully, eventually, will help support our hosting and our web fees and such. So the next time that you're going to purchase something on Amazon.com, just go to thatjustmightworkpodcast.com first. Click the link to Amazon. It's right on our homepage, and then shop on Amazon like you normally would, and we'll get a little kickback for sending traffic that way.
Right. It doesn't change the price for you at all. It just helps us out.
Exactly. So if you want to support us and you don't want to give us money, which you could do as well,
sure,
I suppose, That's an easy way for you to do that. That's all I have for announcements. Let's get into today's topic. That is the shopping cart.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It is. It is a classic invention.
I'm almost surprised we didn't think of it sooner, because when you mentioned it, I was like, I do actually kind of have a lot of gripes with the shopping cart.
Yeah, I was doing grocery shopping the other day. That's how people speak, right?
No one knows you're an alien.
And I just thought, this is just a metal basket on wheels. And they don't steer well. It seems like there's a real lack of innovation of shopping carts.
Yeah, I'm like tempted to just jump right into why we hate it. Are we there yet, or is
no? We have to go through the history.
Oh, right.
It's pretty interesting. It was starting with the definition, of course. A shopping cart, also known by a variety of other names depending upon where you live in the world. You may call them carts, trolleys, carriages, buggies, wagons, basket, trundler, bass cart, or coohutter.
I like bass cart. Only if you're shopping for fish, apparently.
Yes. It's a cart supplied by a shop, especially supermarkets, for use by customers inside the shop for transport of merchandise to the checkout counter during shopping. In many cases, customers can then also use the cart to transport their purchased goods to their vehicles, but some carts are designed to prevent them from leaving the shop. More often you see cart returns. In some cases you have that coin-operated locking mechanism.
Yeah, it's a very European thing.
Yes.
I know Aldi does that here.
Right. And you get that weird thing where if you're going to return your cart and you see someone else and they've got their quarter in their hand, you can just sort of like trade them a cart for a quarter. It's the weirdest human transaction.
It is a strange transaction. It's like, did I just buy a shopping cart? Is this mine now?
25 cents. You don't even say anything. Just thank you.
Yeah, that is weird.
I'll take your quarter. You can have my shopping cart. That doesn't belong to me.
Right.
It's very weird.
Take it away.
Getting in before we get to the history, a couple of little interesting anecdotes that I learned about shopping carts that I think are relevant to this episode. Studies have shown that it's advisable for shoppers to sanitize the handles and basket areas prior to handling them or filling them with groceries. Who does that? Wipe down the basket area?
That seems like overkill.
Due to high levels of bacteria that typically lives on shopping carts. I prefer to not think about it.
Yeah, now that I know, I'm going to be that person.
Did you do some study into the bacteria?
Yeah, I mean, I came across a few sort of grotesque studies.
Okay. Most carts in the U.S. have the swivel wheels in the front with rear wheels at a fixed orientation, while in Europe it's more common to have 4 swivel wheels. I love shopping carts with 4 swivel wheels.
Yeah. Well, it's weird to me that that's a European thing. Like, why do they just get more degrees of freedom on their shopping carts?
I'll tell you. The difference in design correlates mostly with smaller retail premises in Europe. So
they need to be more maneuverable.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like having 4-wheel drive.
I thought that was going to say, like, we need, like, the rear-wheel drive to really, like, cover a lot of distance or something.
We do have huge... I think I read that the average grocery store is, like, 250,000 square feet.
Yeah. If you ever go into, like, a super Walmart, you do a lot of walking if you're there.
Shopping cart theft is a great concern for manufacturers and stores. It can be a costly problem with stores that use them. How much would you guess a shopping cart costs a store?
Oh.
Never think about this.
No, I don't think about this. They buy them in bulk. I don't know. I would say like maybe $30.
Between $75 and $150 each.
Okay. That's sort of like the right order of magnitude, right? But yeah, that's pretty pricey.
There are some models that are $300 to $400. To prevent costly theft, estimated at $800 million worldwide annually, stores are using numerous security measures. One last little anecdote I found interesting. Past studies have determined that retailers that do not offer shopping carts, in the past, Sears was an example of this, suffered lower sales in comparison to retailers that did use shopping carts, and the subsequent introduction of shopping carts and centralized checkout lines at Sears stores resulted in the company noticing an increase in sales.
That makes sense, I guess, right? You just can't hold as much if you don't have a cart.
Right. So that is the definition, some anecdotes, right into the history. Always have to ask Jesse, when do you think the first shopping cart was invented?
Well, they were going to markets and maybe carrying things by hand for a long time. Wheels. Let's go 1798. It's a good year.
Back pretty far.
Yeah.
One of the first shopping carts was introduced on June 4th, 1937. They're not that old.
Damn. I mean, I should have known they were carrying books with like a belt wrapped around.
And we'll touch upon that.
Man.
The invention of Sylvan Goldman, owner of the Humpty Dumpty supermarket chain in Oklahoma. One night in 1936, Goldman sat in his office wondering how customers might move more groceries. He found a wooden folding chair and put a basket on the seat and wheels on the legs. Goldman and one of his employees, a mechanic named Fred Young, began tinkering. Their first shopping cart was a metal frame that held 2 wire baskets. Since they were inspired by the folding chair, Goldman called his carts folding basket carriers.
Not a great marketer, but a good engineer.
Yes, a visionary.
Yeah.
Another mechanic, Arthur Costed, developed a method to mass produce the carts by assembling an assembly line capable of forming and welding the wire. The cart was awarded patent number 2,196,914 on, it seems unnecessary detail there.
Just write that down.
April 9th, 1940. Filing date March 14th, 1938. Titled Folding Basket Carriage for Self-Service Stores.
Yeah, not a great name, but I mean, it kind of sounds like what they created is still what we have.
Yes.
Metal basket on wheels.
For the most part. And what he created is coming back around in some urban areas as with a sort of hipster appeal, which is basically a frame that carries a basket, but instead of a basket carries reusable shopping bags.
Okay, yeah.
People that live in inner cities will bring this with them, walk to the grocery store, load it up, wheel it back home. They own the cart.
Right. So, yeah. I came across a little bit of that in my studies.
The invention did not catch on immediately because men found them effeminate. This is what we found with backpacks.
Yeah. Guys.
And something else. Suitcases.
Just get over your...
Wheeled suitcases.
Get over your issues and just make life easier.
What is this?
We have such a problem.
It's hard to comprehend this thing where guys didn't want to use anything that made their life easier.
Yeah, to like hold things.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But that still exists with the principle of carrying the groceries into the house.
Like we have to carry them all at once.
Right.
That is true.
You're not a man if you take more than one trip.
Right. They make some things that help. Would you be okay using those? Like it's like a carabiner.
I'll admit that would make me feel a little effeminate, I think.
I don't know. You have to try it.
Just because I think the borderline incisions caused by the plastic bags on your forearms.
Oh, that's part of it?
That's part of bringing the groceries in.
I see.
And wondering, like, is my finger going to break before I get these on the counter?
It's always fun wondering, like, was that permanent nerve damage? Or, like, will I be able to feel my hands?
Yeah, soon? That's part of the experience.
Yeah, sure.
But maybe in a podcast 20 years from now, we'll be talking about that.
Yeah. And
they'll reference this episode. Moving on, men found them effeminate. Women found them suggestive of a baby carriage.
Everyone's hung up on something.
Very concerned of what we look like.
Right? Yeah.
Grocery shopping. I've pushed my last baby, an offended woman informed Goldman.
Wait, can you reread that quote?
I had the wrong inflection.
That confused me, but
It's supposed to read, I've pushed my last baby.
Oh, like okay, like I'm done pushing things around.
Right.
It sounded a lot
Not
like she was like, I pushed the last goddamn one. I am done pushing the current ones. That's good.
Right. There was some sort of traumatic incident at home where she pushed her last baby.
I could imagine. I pushed my last baby.
Inflection is important.
Yeah.
An offended woman informed Goldman after hiring several male and female models to push his new invention around his store and demonstrate their utility, as well as greeters to explain their use. How would you have liked that job?
Put food in it and push it.
Shopping carts became extremely popular, and Goldman became a multimillionaire. In urban areas like New York City, where transporting groceries home from the store's parking lot is more likely to involve walking and a trip by public transportation than by car ride, privately owned carts, resembling Goldman's design, as I mentioned, are still popular. Another shopping cart innovator was Orla Watson. She is credited for inventing the swinging rear door, which allows for nesting in 1946. That was a huge breakthrough because it enabled a lot of grocery carts to be pushed at the same time and to be stored in a compact space.
That must have been kind of a big problem if you have like 100 carts and they just can't stack together.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
What do you do with all of them?
Right. So there was a little bit of a controversy. Not controversy, but she had the patent for the swinging door. She licensed it to Goldman. And for a long time, he was the only one that was allowed to implement that technology before the courts ruled. I didn't put this in my notes, but I believe the courts ruled that it was that needed to be a patent available to other innovators.
Okay,
he was sort of monopolizing shopping carts.
Yeah.
Modern advancements have made some attempts at smart integration. I'm sure that you'll get into these, but I read about some with tablets. We see them nowadays with cup holders. A lot of people give Target a lot of credit for their grocery carts, and when I thought about it, I thought they do have nice grocery carts.
Those are like the plastic?
They're made from almost entirely recycled materials, other than the metal.
Okay.
That holds the wheels to the body. So it's mostly recycled plastic, and they're lightweight as a result.
Yeah, they are easier to push around, definitely.
So, with that, let's take a little break from the standard format and let's play a game. Today, I thought that this would be fitting in light of the topic being the shopping cart. We're going to play a game called What's in Our Shopping Cart?
Ooh. Live from the Aloft Hotel.
And we're just going to steal the Price is Right theme for this one.
All right.
So what I have here, Jesse, is a list of 5 items that were purchased via our Amazon affiliate link.
Is this a violation of privacy for us to share them?
I don't think so. I don't know who bought them.
Right.
I just know what they were, and I know what they cost.
Okay.
So I'm going to read these 5 items off to you. I'm not going to tell you their price. And what I want you to do is pick 3 of the items and then correctly tell me their order from least expensive to most expensive.
Okay.
And if you get that correct, I'm going to ship you one of these items for you to do an unboxing video and review on our Facebook page.
Oh, now I'm tempted to pick the expensive item.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get that.
Well, we'll see if there is an expensive item.
Oh, okay.
Our listeners aren't rich. On the list for today, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's keep that music going. That was kind of nice. That's not the Price is Right at all.
This is a techno remix.
This is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, okay.
This works, actually. It is. I think it's a techno remix of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We have item number 1. Raypak model number 006721F drain plug.
This music makes that really intense. Sorry, drain plug.
A drain plug.
Is that like for the bath to drain, to stop the drainage of water?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to assume that's it.
Item number 2. A Blackhawk CIA-style ID lanyard in black.
Okay, I think I know who bought that one, actually. But all right.
Item number 3. A men's solid brown-colored necktie made by the company J&J Stella.
Sounds like a company we could have made.
Yeah.
J&J ties.
Yeah. Item number 4. Tanglefoot tree wound pruning sealer and grafting compound. 16 ounces worth.
I don't know what that is. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It looks like it's like putty that you fill in like a wounded tree with. It's like
like drywall, like patchwork?
Yeah, it's like patchwork for your trees.
Okay.
I don't know why someone would need this.
If you were renting a tree and you had hung a picture, and at the end of the year you would
spackle it.
You would spackle the hole up.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a tree.
Okay.
And item number 5. Universal travel adapter with international configurations.
Okay, I bought one of those recently.
Generic brand.
This wasn't me who bought it, but I purchased one of those recently. Sorry.
All right, so what you need to do is pick 3 of those items that perhaps you feel the most comfortable guessing the price of. Going over them quickly, you have the drain plug, the ID lanyard, the solid brown-colored necktie, you have the tree spackle, and you have the universal travel adapter. Which 3 would you like to go with?
Give me the... You know what? Give me the spackle. Not that I know what it is, but I feel like I can gauge where it falls on the price list.
Okay.
I will take the lanyard ID holder.
Okay.
And what was the 5th one?
The universal travel adapter?
Yeah, I'll take that, the adapter.
Okay. Not sure about the necktie or the drain plug
I feel
value?
like necktie, depending on the material, you said brown, but I don't know if it's silk or cotton or...
Okay.
Could fall in it. And the drain plug, I'm somehow less sure of what that is than the tree putty.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, give us from least expensive to most expensive.
All right, I think I have this. I'm going out on a limb. No pun intended. And I'm going to say that the tree putty is actually the most expensive of my 3.
Okay.
I don't know. I went I think the opposite direction you requested, but tree putty most, and then second would be the travel adapter. Those can be kind of pricey.
Okay.
And then I think the lanyard seems like kind of a cheap, throwaway item.
Okay. I guess I'll just tell you that it seems our buzzer sound effect is not working. There we go. That was incorrect.
Oh, no. How incorrect?
Believe it or not, the least expensive item of all 5, the tree putty.
No.
Yeah. $13.12.
Oh, that's quite affordable. I mean, I don't know what it does, but what a deal.
It seems like it's 16 ounces worth.
That's pretty good.
A pound of tree putty.
If you're listening and you're the one who bought this, please let us know why.
Yeah, feedback at thatjustmyworkpodcast.com. I'd love to know what you were doing with that.
Yeah, what's it for?
Or maybe we don't want to know.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
Maybe it's one of those things that has like an alternative use. And then you said, what? The travel adapter?
Yeah.
That was actually the most expensive item on the list at $17.58.
Yeah, those are expensive.
And coming in at $15.99, actually equivalent in price to the drain plug, the ID lanyard.
So you could really get either one if both are on your list this coming Christmas season.
So that was a game of what's in our shopping cart. I was kind of hoping that you would win. I wanted to see you do a...
Didn't we say if I lost, I had to buy you one of the items.
I don't think we said that. If you want to do that, you want to buy me one.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But you'll have to do a video.
I have to do an unboxing video.
Yeah, you have to do an unboxing video and a product review.
If you buy it for me, I'll do that.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about why it sucks, the shopping cart. You said you have a lot of gripes with it. What do you not like about the shopping cart?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a long list, but it's just a couple things that really kind of bother me. Difficult to maneuver. They're big, they're bulky. In the U.S., we do have pretty big aisles, but still, like, if you've got multiple people in one aisle with multiple shopping carts, it gets really congested. The broken wheels, I think everyone, that's just a unanimous problem.
It's almost embarrassing if you have a cart that's, like, making a funny noise.
Yeah. And I'm kind of stubborn. Like, if I get a cart with a bad wheel, I won't give it up. I'll use it for the entire time in the store. And it's just veering off to, like, the left and making a terrible noise.
Right.
And then I think the last big thing for me is having to return them once you're done using it.
Okay.
You put your groceries away, and it's like you want to just get in your car and go, but you've got to, I do return them. I know a lot of people, some people don't, but you have to hike all the way across the parking lot to put it back.
See, I always park next to the cart returns.
That's smart.
Part of the benefit being one less car that can open their car doors into my car, and the convenience of returning your shopping cart.
Yeah.
You hit on some of my points. I just said, like I said at the beginning, way too basic of a concept. Like, the original idea was a basket on wheels, and that's literally still what it is.
Right.
There's got to be a better solution here. I said no smart integration. They're uncomfortable for tall people to use. I'm often banging my ankles on them while I'm walking with them.
You may just have a walking problem.
Sometimes. And you have such long arms, you probably have never experienced this, but sometimes the bars are so low and I'm so tall that I feel like I'm slouching just to be able to hold onto it.
I see.
So they're not made for... I think they probably make them for the average woman's height.
Yeah. Yeah, long arms, I can keep them out at a distance, I'd say. So I haven't had the ankle problem.
Right.
But I could see that being an issue.
And then I said there's no organization of my items inside of the cart. It's just kind of like you're piling everything on top of each other and smushing the bread.
Oh,
you know? So let's get... actually, before we get to our ideas, right, we have to... It's been a while. We have to ask you, what's some innovative news? What are some new Kickstarter futuristic shopping carts that are out there?
Yeah, this is one of those items that doesn't get a lot of love. Not a lot of like Kickstarter projects, I would say. I think one thing in general I want to say is, there's the traditional full size cart. I think something that's becoming more popular is the like layered 2-level cart. You know what I'm talking about? You've got two smaller baskets kind of stacked.
I always like to grab the smallest cart that I think I'll need.
Yeah. I mean, they're generally more maneuverable. They just you don't bump into as many things.
I hit my ankles on those a lot more often.
Oh,
however.
Okay. I'll make a note. That's my cart of preference when I go to Wegmans. So I don't know. I think that's
just rub it in that you have a Wegmans. Yeah, why don't you?
Just sort of a name drop. Okay, the next one, this sounds a little similar to what you were talking about with people who kind of live in cities. This is called the Carry Master. This was an Indiegogo, a successful Indiegogo. And I called it kind of basically a coat rack on wheels because it's not like baskets. It's basically a pole with a bunch of hooks on it. And you just bring your own reusable shopping bags and you just hang them on the hooks. And then you fill things as you go. So if you only want to bring one bag, you can do that. And I think just by nature of it being sort of this pole shape on wheels, it's easier to like throw in your car or bring on a subway. It takes up less like floor space. It's just sort of more maneuverable. And that's also, it's a personal cart, right? So you bring it to the store, you take it home with you.
Okay.
Now there's scan and go technology. That's sort of the generic name. Every company kind of has a different one, but this is something that Stop and Shop has tried, Walmart has tried, and it's where you have a scanner affixed to the shopping cart itself. You might be able to remove it, but it's kind of a package deal. And you scan the items as you put them in the cart, this doesn't really revolutionize the cart as so much as the shopping experience. The idea being you've already scanned everything, and so when you go to pay, it's like you just, I think you can even pay on the scanner and then you walk out the door.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
And then there's the Amazon store where you can just pick up the item and walk out, and it automatically charges your credit card. Right?
Yeah, and I was reading a little bit about that. It seems like a pretty cool idea. I think the funny thing is, though, like, they've revolutionized again the shopping experience, but I think you very likely could still go to this store and use a regular shopping cart. Like,
right.
They have nothing new in that sense.
I'm happy to get rid of the cashier interaction. I'm not a fan of the sort of like social expectation that you have to small talk with someone about, your produce.
So you're a self-checkout user if it's available?
Yeah, oh, yeah. If I don't have a ridiculous amount of items, I prefer to not. Because the cashier will comment on what what are you making? Bacon popcorn? It's like, none of your business.
I don't think I've had that many comment, but maybe I just buy very boring things. Or enough odd things that they can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I have, let's see, two more here. The WeGo, this was a massive failure. They raised $500 of their $75,000 goal. But this was kind of cool. It was a smart, we'll call it. And it's supposed to be self-driving. And it's supposed to use a 3D camera setup to do one of those basically follow me features like the drones can do now. So you set it to track you and it just follows you around the store. They were marketing it towards people with like mobility issues, but I'm not sure why they didn't just market it as an overall. I think everyone wants that. And then the last one I have is called the Smarter Cart by Chaotic Moon Labs. And honestly, it's very similar to the WeGo.
The Smarter
The Smarter Cart by Chaotic Moon Labs. Switched accents halfway through.
If we're manufactured in Boston, it would be the Smarter Cart.
Right. And this is the same thing. It's an electric cart. This one used an Xbox. It was kind of a prototype, but they used an Xbox Kinect and some sort of integrated tablet. And it followed you around the store. It had sensors to keep it the right distance from you so it didn't bump into you.
We had this same technology in a suitcase.
Yeah.
We heard about it.
Yeah, and it failed there too. I think there's kind of a limitation at how well this works. The drone stuff works well, especially...
It's all fun and games until your groceries follow somebody else.
Someone else, exactly. Although I will say, like, how many times have you... I'll be like walking down an aisle and I'll look at my cart and I go, this isn't my cart. I've done that before.
I'll be honest, I don't think that's happened to me.
You've never done that? Has anyone ever stolen your cart? You've been on the opposite side of that equation?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe just me.
How far away from your cart are you getting?
I've gone like across a store.
Yeah. Not to sidetrack, but what is your strategy in the grocery store? Because my feeling is I want to be in and out of there as fast as is humanly possible. And if I get to the bread aisle and I realized, like the other day, I got to one of the last aisles, and I realized I needed an orange.
You need to go back.
And that's at the opposite corner. I was so upset that I left my cart and I just I wanted to run, but I know that's not allowed.
Yeah.
So I just speed walked.
It's not that it's not allowed. It's just socially unacceptable. You could run. I don't think anyone's going to stop you.
I think it'd be good if there were more running, because I want to be running my cart. I just want to be knocking the item into the cart, and I want to get out of there in 5 minutes.
Just what's that kid's game show with the Toys R Us shopping spree?
Right.
You want to do that?
That's what I want my grocery shopping experience to be like.
You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to get all your groceries. You just run in.
Like, I'm not there to window shop frozen foods. Like, I know what I want. I know where it is in the store. And when someone's in my way, I want to be allowed to hit them.
All right. I'm going to take away your shopping cart privileges, I think. You're a danger.
Like, I think that I do move maybe too quickly. If there was a speed limit in the grocery store,
you'd have gotten a ticket.
I might have gotten a ticket because I'm a little aggressive.
Yeah.
And I find that I round corners and I'm often like kind of they're sort of like right of ways,
Yes.
unspoken ones, and I'm breaking them. I'm
Four-way stops.
It's every man for himself for me.
Yeah, I've had that happen where you're kind of at like college walking speed and you round a corner into like an older woman who's shopping and she's just scared at how fast you're moving. And you're just like, I need to go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like that too. So maybe hopefully our ideas will, I don't know.
Yeah. Are you ready for want me to give mine?
Yeah, please.
I think I had a bit of foreshadowing when I talked about speeding and tickets. Before I introduce my idea, I just want to say this is assuming that home delivery of groceries isn't a better all-around solution.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I actually was thinking like, oh, there would be a thing. It's like, what if you could ride something? And then I was like, what if you could just do like a drive-through? And then I was like, oh, wait. I worked my way to like home delivery of groceries.
Right, that seems like the obvious solution. Like,
right.
Just let's not go to the grocery store anymore.
Right.
However, I will say, I as someone who likes to cook, I think I've said this before, I like to actually see the ingredients, pick out the onion that I like, etc. Especially with fish and with meat. You like to kind of have a little bit more of a hands-on experience.
Right.
My shopping cart is a cart that isn't a cart at all, but a shopping cart with a K.
Still a cart.
That's right. Buckle in and prepare to get your shopping done in 10 to 15 minutes flat.
Oh, is it a go-kart?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Here's how this works. Before you head to the store, log into the grocery store's web interface or app ahead of time and input your list. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not there to look at, tomatoes.
Right.
You either need a tomato or you don't. If you don't need it, you're not looking at the tomatoes. Okay? You pull up to the store. You walk up to the store, and you get into your cart. The cart looks a lot like... Actually, I need to erase it. I wrote this before I concluded my idea. Originally, I said it was going to look kind of like a shopping cart, but with a chair on the back. Now it's just basically going to look like a more comfortable go-kart.
Okay.
Sort of a more upright go-kart. You'll simply indicate on the LCD panel what part of the store you would like to go to, sit back and relax as the cart navigates exactly to the department or even to the product.
Oh, it's automated.
That you're looking for.
Right.
You don't drive this thing.
Oh.
Now, there's a lot of benefits to this. Less congestion, no accidents, higher efficiency. It's going to self-navigate and know when there are other carts that it needs to navigate around or wait for at intersections.
Right. Everything's going to finally thread through and just be perfectly timed and
right. And because it's autonomous, it can be fast.
Yeah.
Maybe not too fast.
Is there a setting like I'm living on the edge and
you're going like 60 through the grocery store? No, probably maxing out around 15 miles an hour.
Okay.
Let's say. The screen just went blank. When you get to your item or department, your cart's going to pull to the side of the road and allow you to exit to make your selections. Here's where there's another feature integration. Are you familiar with, I know that you are, the B&H photo store?
Yes.
In New York City.
Oh, yeah, of
You
course.
see where I'm going with this?
I do, yeah.
They have a conveyor belt system in the rafters of the store, wherein when you find a product that you want, you simply, well, in the case of that store, you hand it to the clerk at the counter in that department.
Right.
They scan your receipt, you get a receipt, and you give them your item. They load it up. It goes up onto the conveyor belt system, and it's at the checkout, pre-bagged, ready for you when you're ready to leave the store.
Yeah, it's a great store.
I'm putting that same technology into this grocery store.
All right.
So you grab your Campbell's soup. There's a scanner in every aisle or two. You scan it, stick it in. You don't have to worry about that can of soup until you get to the checkout where it's pre-bagged and all you need to do is swipe your card.
Hop back in your cart.
From there, you get out of your. How do you get the groceries from the store to the car? That's another. That's another part of the
episode.
equation. All right, they bring it to your car.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
But the idea is you don't have to carry any groceries with you through the store.
Right, and it's fast.
That's my idea. That's all I have. The shopping cart
with a K. I like it. I could see that kind of.
It solves a lot. It solves a lot of problems.
I don't see, and it's like, so they have the mobility scooter carts, I think you'll call them, the ones that you can drive around.
Like the accessible ones.
So it's not like the idea of having some sort of actually driven, motorized cart is unreasonable. It exists in some fashion, so I think this could work.
Right, but I think getting rid of the actual user driving is
a smart thing to do. Yeah,
this is a fully automated grocery store.
Okay.
Where you're not driving and you're not carrying your food.
It's pretty good.
Okay. What do you have?
I kind of honestly had sort of a similar concept, and I think that just sort of, lets you know that the idea itself is good. Do you remember my electric scooter?
Yes, I do.
I want electric scooters to be an option. And so you're laughing because you're now picturing the electric scooter, and it's kind of hilarious looking. It had a seat, but you were still kind of almost standing. But anyway, I think scooters are an underutilized form of transport.
Okay.
I'm not sure if anyone would agree with that, but I think they're like, it's just easy to hop on and off a scooter, but it's a lot faster and more efficient than walking. And you can go pretty fast. I think the flooring...
You're not talking about, like, gas-powered scooters. You're talking about, like...
I'm talking, like, electric. It's not going to be gas. It's not going to be loud or anything like that. But it is going to be powered, basically.
Okay.
It's not just a Razor scooter. I mean, if we're trying to avoid ankle bashing, the Razor scooter is, not the way to go.
No, certainly not.
No. Three-wheeled. This is a three-wheeled device because I want it to stand up. Because you don't want to have to like hold it while you're getting stuff off the shelf. It's just you get and you stand up. Attachments. It's got a screen with GPS navigation, so you do enter. And which is funny because stores like Wegmans have something like this, sort of not with the navigation, but if you enter one of their items in their app, it tells you exactly what aisle it is. So it's the same idea. It'll tell you what aisle it is, and it will give you sort of a route to the aisle. So it's sort of like...
I have to say this. Do you know where they keep the marshmallows in a grocery store?
I know that I've had trouble finding marshmallows in a grocery store.
I'll tell you the top... I don't know if I can think of a third, but the top two items I've had the most difficulty on numerous occasions, because I can't remember each time, finding in the grocery store. One is marshmallows.
Yep.
And the other is coconut milk. Because here's the thing. Marshmallows.
Yeah.
It's not with the candy.
It should be.
No.
It's not.
It's not with the candy.
It's like you almost... in the summer, you find like the s'mores display.
Right. Then it's in the s'mores display.
Right. But in the winter...
Where are the marshmallows?
By the hot chocolate?
No.
Do you know? I feel like you're quizzing me. Should we put the millionaire music back on? Where are the marshmallows? Is that your final answer?
Hang on. Jesse, where are the marshmallows?
It's like for $250,000.
The marshmallows are in the baking aisle.
Okay. That makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, they're a hard item to place, and I could see in some instances baking with them, I guess. I mean, you make Rice Krispie treats with marshmallows. It's kind of a baked
coconut milk, not with the milk.
Speak for yourself. I'm pretty sure at Wegmans it's with the milk. Maybe, I don't know where you go, Price Chopper or something.
I found it in multiple locations in the same store, actually.
It's not like you're schizophrenic. Like, sometimes it's just like in the dry cereal aisle.
No, I found it with sort of like the Mexican cuisine.
Oh, like a can of coconut milk.
And I found it with, I think, baking. I think I just don't go in the baking aisle, so I don't know what's in it.
I don't know what's there. Yeah, that's a good item to know where it is. I think that the last thing I really wanted to add is that my scooter is going to be, you can hold a basket, you can attach a basket to it, but that's sort of for a smaller trip. So if you are taking a bigger trip, sometimes you see people in the supermarket with a big traditional cart and it's full. You're going to be allowed to tow a cart. You're going to tow a cart behind the scooter.
Okay.
When I wrote that down, I also wrote in parentheses, that's going to be a nightmare. Because, I mean, just having people driving scooters is probably a bad enough idea. I should have made them automated, but then adding a towed item, it's like you need another level of licensure. You need a new license to do that.
Why did you go scooter as opposed to like an
actual cart? Something you can drive.
Well, something with four wheels, a little more stability, a little more familiarity to the operator.
I wanted the fast step on, step off that a scooter enables.
Okay.
Because I don't want to have to sit down and get back up every time I'm going through an aisle.
Do you just want everyone to ride the mobility scooters that they already have at the grocery stores?
I mean, secretly, yes. But there are not enough of them.
How handicapped do you have to be to use one of those?
That, I don't know. I did read that the supermarkets won't question that. Because there have been a number of lawsuits where they have suggested.
You walk in with a little limp.
You get on a cart.
Get on a cart.
Yeah, I think the problem with that being if there's only 3 carts and you take one from someone who actually needs it,
right? You
should just ride your scooter.
Fair enough. Do you just ride your scooter from home?
I think I kind of would like to. Yeah.
Everyone owns a scooter. And everyone's just driving into the grocery store.
In my utopia, everyone rides scooters. Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, it's underutilized.
I agree.
And that's my idea. I think I called it Scoot. I didn't really have a better name than that.
All right, let's move on to has someone died using it? I think it's my turn to
guess.
Any idea what the score is?
I think we had started over because I had to do a shot and that whole thing.
Yeah, which you didn't do.
All right, another thing we can add to.
I'm just checking the previous score. I typically make a record of it.
I gotcha.
However, I don't think I did. So
we can look it up.
We started over with last episode.
Yeah.
Last episode was the grill. You got it incorrect.
I guess that someone had died, which was true, but I didn't get it how correctly.
So you have a half a point.
Half a point, yep.
Half a point to 0 currently.
Correct.
First to 5.
First to 5.
And it's my turn to guess shopping cart.
Has someone died using it, and how did it happen?
Okay. Here's what I thought. I know that there are. I stumbled upon this in my research. There are a lot of injuries to children annually by shopping carts.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that this isn't another child death incident. Seems like most objects have killed children.
Yeah, we might have to season 2 new rule it has to have killed someone 18 years or older or something.
Well, that's what they say about kids. It's like until they're 5. It's like they're just
trying.
They're trying to find ways to kill themselves.
Right, yeah.
So I considered that a child could have fallen out of one.
Sure.
One could have fallen on the child.
Those are the options.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I've considered bacteria. Maybe somebody picked up some sort of strange bacteria, salmonella. Maybe a lot of food, E. coli.
I am always kind of grossed out by just putting raw beef on the bottom of.
Sometimes they're leaking a little bit. There's got to be a lot of dangerous bacteria at play at the grocery store, and then you're touching it. I consider tetanus. So you've got
That comes up a lot.
you got metal, so you could have some rust there. I considered someone riding on the back of a cart getting hit by a car.
Like on the street or in the parking lot?
In the parking lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you allow that if they were riding on the cart and they got hit by a car?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because they could have just gotten hit by a car regularly.
Okay. So it's not a very high drop for a kid to fall out of a cart.
I'm going to need your final answer.
Hang on.
You can't keep bringing it back. All right, Jason. You have no lifelines left. Has someone died using a shopping cart, and how did it happen? A. Listeria. B. Tetanus. No, I'm kidding.
All right. Somebody died. I'm going to say yes, someone has died by shopping cart. And I'm going to say that it was from contraction of a foodborne illness.
All right. I'm going to award you half a point. There have been a number of, like you said, I think 24,000 children are injured annually in shopping carts. And I'm going to go right off the bat and say that, yes, a child has died falling from a shopping cart, and we'll just leave it at that. That's not the even, I mean, I would have taken that answer, but in 2013, a woman in Japan, I believe, was at a supermarket where they had one of these like escalator type deals for the carts, where the cart can actually go down an escalator.
Okay.
And I think the cart came loose, and it just went down essentially a ramp, and it hit her from behind. And basically she succumbed to the injuries of that collision.
Oh my God, how fast was that thing going?
There's actually a video on LiveLeak.
Yeah.
It's not that graphic, believe it or not. But yeah, that is apparently a danger. I did, to your credit.
Are we gonna link to that?
I will not. To your credit, I did find an instance of a child getting very sick from E. coli in a shopping cart.
All right.
But they were okay. So I do think there's a lot of bacteria in a shopping cart. So, don't let your kids lick them, or don't lick them yourselves. Whatever the case may be.
Man. All right.
So it's all tied up half. Where is the half and half
That's
in
right.
the supermarket?
Half and half.
Yeah.
All right. That will conclude today's episode of That Just Might Work on the shopping cart. Hopefully from here on out we are back on schedule.
I think so.
Do we wrap up season 1? This is episode 20.
Yeah, I think it would be good to break it into seasonal chunks. Not that we're going to wait a full, 8 months to start again, but just to have sort of a...
Sure. Not with this episode, though.
No.
We'll be back on track, hopefully, for the following week. A couple of closing remarks. Don't forget to follow us on social media at That Just Might Work on Facebook and Instagram, at TJMW Podcast on Twitter. If you have a moment, if you'd like to rate and review us on iTunes, we would appreciate that. And again, check out that Amazon affiliate link on our website, thatjustmightworkpodcast.com. That will do it for today's episode. We will join you next week. You never know. We might be talking about your favorite everyday item.
Shout out to the Aloft.